Well, that was a quick kill of the music. My body language buddies and my Royal Rogues too are gonna have will be all together and decide. Let me. This is not the Royal Rogue. I'm the body language guy now. Let me make this adjustment. All right. All right, we're live now. Welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. And today we have a really fresh, right out of the oven, Harry and his UN speech. We have so much to review today. We're gonna watch. I'm gonna be commenting the whole speech, like 15 minutes of a speech in a minute. I want to take a look at a few pictures first, and of course, meanwhile you are arriving, you're still arriving. We are live on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, Twitch, Rumble, and Telegram. Today's a new record. It's 5 platforms, 5 or 6 platforms. I think it was 6 or 5 or 6 platforms. Glad to having you here. 1,600 body language buddies. Remember to hit the like button. The easiest way to support my channel right now is hitting that like button. And well, the first thing that I saw today was these pictures of Harry. As you can see, well, we have classic Harkles in here. We got Meghan with her chin a bit up. You know that she feels really confident at that moment. Okay, she looks fine. We're gonna take a look at Meghan's attire in a while, but Harry looks, well, defeated. I don't know why Harry has this attitude of sadness, of being like low on energy, low battery. I think he needs an injection of something, but I really don't know. Something legal. Of course, legal. Please. Legal. We already have super chats incoming. You want to support with super chats, you're totally open to do so and to become members of my channel too. Thanks for that. Missy Lulu. Okay, let's begin. We're gonna begin with this. This is an event. He was we are aware that he was about to talk about climate change and hunger. I haven't seen this. This is gonna be more or less a blind run, a blind analysis. I haven't seen the video. I added captions to the video, but I haven't seen the video itself. I added automatic captions and changed the screen aspect so we could have a better look at it, but I haven't seen it. Okay, so you're gonna watch me actually react to the video itself. But we already have this Harry's reaction. Can you guess? Can you guess which song it's this? Which is this song? Can you guess without looking at Google? Okay. Regarding Meghan today has a strong Endeavor Fund Awards vibes. You remember that video? Oh my God, I'm jumping ahead of myself. You remember Meghan from 2 years ago, that Endeavor Fund Awards, that they got this picture with the umbrella and the rain. It was a great picture. It was a nice picture of them. And I took a look at Meghan today. And yes, Save Me Queen, that's the song. Very good, Pandy. I took a look at Meghan today, and it really reminded me of her at the Endeavor Fund Awards. And this is a positive commentary that I like that she's trying to go with the basics, nothing out of the ordinary, very formal. She looks nice, and Harry also looks nice. Thank God that Harry didn't bring a gray suit. Maybe this is, I think this is a navy, a very, very dark navy suit. But hey, they look fine. They look fine. A bit too dark, okay? Maybe too black. The clothing, I mean. Oh well. This were some of the screenshots that I took before I watched. There was a clip of the video, and I noticed that Harry has Why does he have that expression of anger? Like you can spot here that there's that tension in his mouth and his jaw. That when he look at the people there, why did he have such a nasty look? Like he was angry. This was not sadness. This was not like this. For example, this at this moment he was just lost. His eyes were lost. Okay, but during the speech, I noticed this moments that it was anger, and I have never or very seldom seen Harry truly angry. You can remember maybe you saw my live yesterday. We were talking about how Harry's friends were talking about him when he was trying to present to introduce Meghan to them, and they said, "Hey, these situations are sparking reactions in Harry that we haven't seen before. Like he's angry, he's incandescent. That's a word that Tom Bauer used in his book. He became incandescent in that Inskip wedding party." But this is not usual for him. This is not usual for him. And for all of you that like my summaries, my 9-minute videos, my recorded shorter videos, I'm gonna have a shorter summary of this analysis of this live stream tomorrow. So don't despair. You will have it tomorrow. You can watch the live today, and you will have the summary tomorrow. Almost 3,000 body language bodies over 5 platforms. That is great. Just hit the like button. In every platform there's a like button. Just hit it. That is great to have 3,000 of you here supporting my channel. So I think maybe Harry had this face, had this expression of being angry because there was not that many people. There was not that many people attending or even paying attention to him, to his speech. And this is a message I got through my DMs. You can follow me on Twitter, on Instagram. There are my social media too. Of the 18 people sitting in the central section, it appears 9 are on their phones. 4 more look completely bored or falling asleep. I don't blame them. I don't blame them in the slightest, which leaves 6 people paying attention. Harry is number 6. 6 people paying attention. Just go for the lottery and play it, and take a shot at it. Number 6. Today's lucky number is number 6. Harry is number 6, and 6 people paying attention. You got your lucky number. We're calling lucky numbers. You win. You have to share it with me. I have the video around here. Where do I have the video? Let's take a look at the video. Where's the video? Video will be right. Yeah, here is the video itself. Let me see if I can just, perfect framing, and okay. From the get-go, right from the start, you got Harry in there, and gonna turn on the sound so we can listen to him. You can listen better to him, and I'm gonna mute my microphone so you can listen to him better. I'm going to play short bursts. I'm going to activate my microphone and then comment on what I see, and you can also comment on what you are spotting, what you're detecting, and if I can spot a nice comment, I will highlight it. Very glad to highlight your comments. Here we go.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you to the President of the General Assembly, His Excellency Mr. Abdullah Shahid, for the introduction. And thank you to the Nelson Mandela Foundation for inviting me to speak on this day of all days. And thank you to Secretary General Guterres and the United Nations, whose promise reflects Mandela's vision of a freer, more peaceful world, for hosting us today.
Okay, first of all things that you might have noticed that he's thanking the opportunity to speak there. He's thankful for that opportunity. I don't know if okay. He's thankful for the opportunity to be speaking there. But what is his facial expression? First 38 seconds, they're going to be playing it in slow motion. It's like he's totally disjointed, angry. Why so angry, Harry? Yes, you're going to play this with that sound. Played it with that sound. That has no problem if you like look down at times. Maybe you're checking your notes, maybe you're a bit nervous. That's normal. Everybody gets nervous doing a speech. But that look, why does he have that look? Okay, maybe he's angry because there's basically no one there, but it doesn't matter. He has an audience of millions around the world. Right now he has an audience of millions. You should be focused on making an impact on whatever you're doing. Let's play. There's no sound right now. You just want to watch his body language. Note that there's that tension in his jaw. He presses his lips. It has this kind of expression. You have seen Harry talking, and you have seen giving speeches like this. He's thanking for inviting, for the invitation to speak. Okay, and he has this face. It's like he shouldn't say just Mandela. Yeah, maybe, but this is not expression that you should have when you're thankful. Nobody is thankful in this way. This is whatever you want except thankful. Okay, still with no sound. We're gonna reach that 38-second mark. This kind of things is what I tell you. You have to spot when someone speaks and they project their jaw forward, and you can spot that there's a slight difference between their upper and lower teeth. They are doing this. They're projecting their jaw forward. There's not something that we do usually when talking, because when talking we can move our jaw, open and close our mouth, of course, the lips and the tongue, and our neck. Every single part of that area works when talking, but we don't usually project put the jaw forward, because it will be too much of a lot of energy. Okay, we don't usually do that. So when you see a person doing that, and that is not part of their baseline, because Harry doesn't talk like this, that is not his usual expression, then you can tell the person is angry about something. And that's when you get emotional intelligence. You put emotional intelligence into the mix. This man is just getting started. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's give him a pass, a 2-minute or even 3-minute pass. Okay, maybe the first 3 minutes he was a bit nervous, or he hadn't entered in the mood for the speech, which is one of the worst mistakes you can make, because the first 3 minutes are the ones when you connect with your audience, and your audience, you spark the attention of your audience. Remember that formula: attention, interest, it's AIDA. I don't remember the third and fourth one. Attention, interest, decision, and action. But in this case, we need attention and interest, and you're not getting attention precisely because you're being hostile with your body language. He looks hostile talking. I'm gonna put on the audio again, the volume again, to keep listening. The audio is a bit low. I'm sorry that I should have adjusted the audio. I'm going to just mute my mic so you can better listen to him.
And the United Nations, whose promise reflects Mandela's vision of a freer, more peaceful world, for hosting us today. It is an honor to join you all on Nelson Mandela International Day. Having spent time with many...
That gesture he did. Let me try to go back just a few seconds. I'm gonna leave the sound on so I can have an idea where am I.
International Day.
That gesture, that pressing of the lips, that jaw forward, that inspiration, and he also raises his right eyebrow, has this reaction of his right eyebrow right after that.
It's an honor to join you all on Nelson Mandela International Day. Having spent time with many of Mandela's family members.
It's like he's giving a speech for, I don't know, an army. You're angry for a battle or something, or war. I don't know what to tell you about this beyond this. It's so strange that he just mentioned Nelson Mandela International Day, and his body reacts like with anger, not with. You should be like honored of being there. You should be humble. You should be maybe excited, but not this.
National Day. Having spent time with many of Mandela's family members over the years, I speak to you today with humility.
Do you think he's projecting humility? At least he has some testosterone type of aggression left, but he's not focusing it in the right way. Do you think he's projecting humility? His body language is projecting humility. His posture, I will give him this. His posture is nice. Okay, he's upright. He's not that hunched. His arms, his elbows are in the right position. But what he's doing with his mouth, it's like, when you're talking over the phone with someone, you know that we used to talk over the phone with people, right? Before we sent voice notes, people used to talk over the phone a long time ago. You can tell when the other person is smiling, or the other person is tense, or the other person is breathing heavily, or you have all these nuances that you can detect, and you can tell it now just looking at his face. And there's a huge dissonance between his body language and his words, and this is not good for the global audience that he has, because he has that global audience. We can joke all that you want about few people right there in the hall, but millions of people are gonna watch him. This is your moment to shine. You need to show that you're glad to be there, that you're glad to have the opportunity. Very important. Glad to have the opportunity to make a change in the world. You should at least project enthusiasm. You have just seen 1 minute only. So let's keep watching to see what happens.
Mindful of how much the man they loved means to so many. Those of us not fortunate enough to know Mandela well have come to understand the man through his legacy. The letters he wrote alone in his prison cell, the speeches he delivered to his people.
He's still angry. So far, his anger is at least stable. There are no changes in that body language. That is important to note. Okay, he's angry, but it's not like he's changing from joyful or making doing jokes or sad or something. At least his emotional display is stable. At least it's not the best emotional display, but yeah, where is the passion? He should be passionate but not angry. He should be passionate about it. He isn't interested. Yeah, I agree. He doesn't look interested or invested or passionate or feeling lucky to be there and be able to talk. I have to say, what I'm going to say is gonna piss off many people. But I think so far, 1 minute in, I think Meghan would still have done a better speech than this. But we had like 14 minutes left. 5,000 body language here. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for being here. This is your first time talking about body language and behavior. What is the dissonance? What is the problem, the conflict here?
And those incredible shirts.
Yeah, one comment I just saw. He was smiling when he entered the building. He was, well, not that smiling, but that nervous smile that he had. He could have that smile now. Okay?
He sported. We've also come to know him through the photographs of a...
I don't know if this was a joke, by the way.
Who, even when confronting unimaginable cruelty and injustice, almost always had a smile on his face.
How can you say Nelson Mandela almost always had a smile on his face, and you had that face, and do not smile at the same time? It is a complete detachment of the moment of what you're saying. You should be saying the words and should be expressing the emotions with your body, and it's the simplest principle of all. If you're talking about happiness, joy, someone smile, and your speech is about this person, about Nelson Mandela, and he used to smile, and this is the face that you put to say that doesn't make sense. This is not being awkward. This is not being spontaneous, natural. No, this is a huge contradiction that puts people off. There's no way around that. No, sorry, I have to highlight this. I have to make he's not an ENFJ. He doesn't have the same talent as you do. I have some talent, but a lot has been learned and practiced. This is something that you can learn and practice, and you might not have a natural talent to give a speech, okay? But you can practice it. You can remember that Winston Churchill was a stutterer. He was a stutterer, and he had to overcome that stuttering by sheer practicing. There was nothing else, just practicing. And Harry must have access to the best specialists, to the best public speech writers, to the best body language specialists. I don't know. I can tell you, Harry, that is not the way to go. That is not the way to go. That is a huge dissonance, and he's just disconnecting himself not only from the audience, but what's worst of all, from the topic itself, from Nelson Mandela. Okay?
For me, there's one photo in particular that stands out. On my wall and in my heart every day is an image of my mother and Mandela meeting in Cape Town in 1997.
I want to rewind a bit, because I wanted to know about those shirts he mentioned. I don't know what was he saying.
To understand the man through his legacy, the letters he wrote alone in his prison cell, the speeches he delivered to his people, and those incredible shirts that he sported.
That is supposed to be some levity to the speech. The incredible shirts, Mandela's shirts were like colorful, like were a statement in themselves. Like, I'm not gonna wear something dull like gray. No, I'm gonna wear something colorful, and he's doing that in a way. Someone else obviously wrote this speech, and this is the little touch of levity at the start of the speech. Okay, but there's no way. Yeah, similar to Hawaiian shirts, similar like Hawaiian shirts. You're talking about these happy shirts as a joke, as levity, and there's nothing in your face that projects that. This is not talent. This is about learning it by practicing. And I don't mean practicing any kind of speech, but you know you're gonna give a speech and millions are gonna watch you, and that's gonna be recorded for decades. You should at least practice it and someone tell you how should you stand, your body language, your movement, your voice, when to raise your voice, when to lower your voice, when to smile, so people know that that moment was paramount to smile. We needed that smile because that's the way that that was shirts. Okay, and why do you have that face? That doesn't make sense. If it's not like he's gonna laugh. I'm not asking him to laugh at that moment. Maybe a or something, or a smile would have been enough. I'm gonna make a joke and add some levity, and I need to give that market. I understand. No, not everyone has that talent. I agree with you. Not everyone has that talent. That is learned, that is developed, but you can hire someone to train you to do it, because that is what public speakers do. You know, TED Talks. You don't go to a TED Talk because you're a good public speaker. You are invited to a TED Talk because you have a great idea that should be shared with people. But the organizers of TED Talks make sure to train you and edit your speech and help you with your body language, with your delivery, with your practicing. So the moment you give your TED Talk is as polished as it can be, and you are as polished as it can be. Okay? He could just pick up the phone. There's a name of this guy. I just forgot it. Who is the main organizer of TED Talks? That he's the one who supervises that training. And what can I tell you? That's something that he could do. Just picking up the phone. I need someone to help me with a 15-minute speech. That is sheer practicing. That tells you. What does it tell you? One person that has the resources, a person that has the time, a person that has or should have the willingness to do this. It seems that it means that he doesn't care. He's not engaged. You're not engaged. Okay, you don't care about this. We don't have not even 3 minutes of a speech. You already told us with your body language, with your off jokes, like they did not land at all, that you're not engaged, you're not invested in it, you don't believe what you're saying. Okay? I wouldn't need to listen any more of your speech to know how is it going to go the rest. Why? Because the first 3 minutes are fundamental. And this is another thing. You know that I've said many times that Megan, well, she's a better public speaker. Megan knows this. So Megan willingly, knowingly, she knows this is the wrong way to give a speech. She knows that this is not how you address a planet on such a critical topic. So that brings the question: why does Megan? What is Megan's gain on making Harry look like this, unprepared, disconnected, uninterested? Don't you think that's a bit evil? Like quite evil? You know how this should be done. You know that this should be done, but I mean Megan, and not an ounce of advice. Harry, we should look for a specialist or an expert on public speaking, on body language for public speaking, so you can nail this down and you can just make people fall in love with your words, because that's what you want with a public speech. Yeah, she wants to do all the talking, but I don't understand. Wouldn't you want wouldn't you want your partner to shine in this moment? Wouldn't you want that? Don't you find it, I don't know the word. I'm a loss for words in here. That doesn't make sense. Let's continue. 6,000 body language bodies now. This is impressive. Thanks for being here.
Speeches he delivered to his people and those incredible shirts that he sported.
He even presses his lips when he gives a joke. Those incredible shirts that he sported. And he presses like, I feel silly. He feels silly. He's feeling silly at that moment. He feels silly for making a joke on a speech. Do you know what is the trick to not feel silly? Practice. There's nothing else. There's not a magic potion. There's not a special curse. You know what is the best? What is the best exercise you can do without a coach, without a book, without anything that you can do to improve your public speaking? Is to record yourself with your mobile phone. Like you're giving the speech, you put, I don't know, chairs or something, you give the speech and record yourself and watch yourself. And say, I don't like how I look at this moment. I don't like how I look at this moment. And you begin noticing what you don't like and you change it and you give your speech and you record yourself again. That is free. There's a free way to improve your public speaking. You don't need books. You don't need courses. You don't need a coach. You don't need a group. You can do it on your own, alone. Just record yourself and watch the recording. That's all that you have to do. It's insane. I've coached people like this. You don't need my coaching. You just do this and you will improve. I guarantee you, if you want, after you've done it 5 or 6 times, you can send me a recording and I can tell you, well, change this, change that. But the most important thing is that you practice the content and you feel comfortable with the delivery of the content. And 15 minutes, you can memorize 15 minutes. It's perfectly doable. 15 minutes are around, if I remember correctly, 15 minutes should be around 2,000 or 2,500 words. You can memorize that. That is easy. You just learn to memorize by fragments and imagine things. You don't have to look at your notes. You don't have to use a teleprompter. You make sure you connect with the people, even if you're at a podium. So many things that you can do. So many resources that you can have. And you don't want to, because you're not interested, you're not engaged. Not Harry, not Meghan. They don't care. This is the proof. Tell me. I would like someone to tell me that I'm wrong. Tell me that I'm wrong. How do you explain this? I'm talking like this because from an audience, a platform perspective, you have the opportunity to your words to be heard, and you miss the mark by 1,000. I don't know. How can you allow yourself this? How can you allow yourself this? And yes, I know there's so many sugar squatties in the comments. I know they're coming from the more platforms I know, the more people are arriving from different platforms. I cannot control that, but you know that I'm right, because you realize that I'm not attacking him personally. I'm just using your own common sense. This is common sense. It's just common sense. Harry is underprivileged. Yes, of course. Oh my God. I don't know. I would like to. I sincerely. It doesn't matter if you don't like how I treat the Harkles. Well, if you don't like how I treat the Harkles, it's your problem, not mine. But I sincerely want two things. I sincerely would like them to succeed, but in a logic way, in a respectful way, in a good way. Not this. This is not caring. This is not being engaged. And that is what infuriates me. You have the opportunity. You have the fame. You have the platform. And you don't care about that. Just to be clear, let's be clear about this. I think Harry has never wanted this. Harry has never wanted it because he wanted out as a working royal, right? He didn't want this. He wanted a peaceful life at home with his kids, and that's it. You know who wants this, right? You know who wants this really bad. You know who wants this. And yes, what I don't get is why Meghan allows him to give a speech to millions unprepared. What kind of partner does this? You listening, Sugar Squatties? You're listening. You're right. I'm seeing you in the comments. I'm seeing you. And you're trying to make your mental gymnastics just to come up with an answer to that. Like Harry's spontaneous. You're watching with your own eyes. He doesn't want to be there. He's angry. By I don't know what reason. I don't care. I don't care. Okay? Why is he angry? That is not my problem. That is his problem. I'm telling you what your eyes are telling you. That Harry, well, it's, oh my God, can't tell you anymore. I'm gonna let him, I said I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt for the first 3 minutes, but so far this is a train wreck.
We've also come to know him through the photographs of a person who, even when confronting unimaginable cruelty and injustice, almost always had a smile on his face. For me, there's one photo in particular that stands out. On my wall and in my heart every day is an image of my mother and Mandela meeting in Cape Town in 1997. The photo was presented to...
Okay, notice there's a change in his body language, in his rhythm, that when he talks about Diana, his blinking accelerates. The blinking frequency goes up.
Mandela meeting in Cape Town in 1997.
There, right there. It begins to blink fast.
The photo was presented to me by the late Archbishop Desmond Tutu, whose friendship and inspiration were their own treasured gift. My wife and I had the honor of introducing our 4-month-old son to him back in 2019.
Speaking about Archie, he relaxes his face a bit, just a bit, but he goes back immediately after he says that he has relaxed his face, you know, that his brows are a bit relaxed. There's a hint of joy. There's a hint of joy. Yeah, he relaxed his face right there. There's a hint of joy. He's proud of Archie. He likes the moment, remembers the moment, but he goes back.
Son to him back in 2019. But when I first looked at the photo, straight away what jumped out was the joy on my mother's face.
Okay, notice. There's a strong connection. That is undeniable, and we're witnessing it here. Harry has a strong connection with that memory, with the sentiment, the memory of his mother, and you can tell that maybe doesn't completely relax his face, but he's way more relaxed than at the beginning. Okay, he doesn't have that anger at that moment. Okay, let's see it from now on.
I first looked at the photo. Straight away what jumped out was the joy on my mother's face.
There's a nice touch in there, right at that moment, a nice touch. He remembers his mother and very fond memories. For one instant, he becomes he goes back to that Harry we once knew.
The playfulness, cheekiness even. the pure delight to be in communion with another soul so committed to serving humanity.
Speaking about Diana, I think that he's speaking about Diana, right? Playfulness, cheekiness. Oh, okay.
My mother's face. The playfulness, cheekiness.
Yeah, about Diana.
The pure delight to be in communion with another soul so committed to serving humanity. And then I looked at Mandela. Here was a man with the weight of the world on his shoulders.
Yeah, at least he, after talking about Diana, he relaxed his face to the point that talking about Mandela, he keeps that relaxed expression. He's not that angry like at the beginning.
Asked to heal his country from the wreckage of its past and transform it for the future. A man who had endured the very worst of humanity, vicious racism and state-sponsored brutality. A man who had lost 27 years with his children and family that he would never get back. 27 years.
That kind of emphasis is very helpful to give gravitas to the speech. Like, repeat the 27 years, slower, with emphasis. It's something that he knew that he had to do.
Yet in that photo and so many others, he is still beaming, still able to see the goodness in humanity, still buoyant with a beautiful spirit that lifted everyone around him. Not because he was blind to the ugliness, the injustices of the world, no. He saw them clearly. He had lived them, but because he knew we could overcome them. In our own time, a time of global uncertainty and division.
Okay, just a pause. This is the kind of a speech. This is the kind of speech that you could have. You could use your hands and your body to give much more passion to it. You have to practice that. It's at some point it would be better if you're not used to it. If you don't know exactly what to do with your hands, which gestures to do, at what point. Maybe it will be a good idea to go for a specialist, a professionalist, to tell you what to do. But it's also a missed opportunity because he has total freedom of movement, and okay, he's got good posture, but not good movement. He looks stiff in that posture. It's like you have to assume this posture, and he said, well, I'm going to assume this posture, but not move beyond this. I'm not gonna move beyond this. That is a problem too, because you look stiff, and looking stiff is also a way of looking disengaged, not connected with what you're saying.
When it's all too easy to look around and feel anger or despair, I've been inspired to go back to Mandela's writings for insight into how this could be. How he could experience so much darkness and always manage to find the light.
Yeah, like living at Montecito, I think.
There I found a few lines that stopped me in my tracks.
Yeah, but this is a picture that was running around on the internet about the few people, but I really don't mind that much the amount of people there, because we are watching. We're not inside. We're watching it. Millions are watching you, so you should be prepared for this. Yeah, did he take a private jet to get to New York City again? Most probably.
In a letter from prison, he wrote, "I feel my heart pumping hope steadily to every part of my body."
I thought that he was going to say, my heart goes pump, pump, pump.
Warming my blood and pepping up my spirits. I am convinced that floods of personal disaster can never drown a determined revolutionary. To a freedom fighter, hope is what a lifebelt is to a swimmer. A guarantee that one will keep afloat and free from danger.
These words have a lot of weight, a lot of passion, not in his speech, the words themselves, the words written by Mandela. So it would have been a great idea to change the pacing, to change the emphasis, to make the distinction that he was quoting Mandela, and in a way to give more passion and more power to Mandela's words. Like, I have my way of speaking, but the moment that I quote Mandela, I am more invested, enthusiastic, passionate about his ideas, about his ideals, everything. Yeah, Tom Bauer's book, On His Mind.
It moved me even more when I saw the date. August 1st, 1970. 7 years into Mandela's imprisonment, not even 1/3 of the way through. In those circumstances, how many of us would have lost hope?
Yeah, like some of you have saying in the comments, he's just reading a script. Yeah, the speech is written in a script, so you don't go off the script. But there's so many ways that you can add color and passion to a script. That is the way you do it with your voice, with your eyes, with your body language. That is the magic, the art of public speaking, not just writing the script.
And let our life belts slip away. How many of us would have been broken by a system designed to do exactly?
I saw a comment here worth mentioning. Wait a second, I just lost that comment. So I think the reason his wife sits and watches him make a fool of himself is because she can say, my husband isn't very good at speaking, I'll do the speaking from now on. Robin, I cannot tell you that you're wrong, because it sounds like you are quite right. You are quite right. That sounds a lot like it. If you have any other explanation, because that doesn't make sense.
That. And let's be honest, how many of us are in danger of losing those life belts right now? How many of us feel battered, helpless, in the face of the seemingly endless stream of disasters and devastation? I understand. This has been a painful year in a painful decade.
Okay, I want to make I'm gonna be extra nitpicky here. How many of us feel better? I usually encourage you to use this kind of talk in terms of us. Okay, you're giving a speech. Okay, you include yourself, because usually you're talking about feelings, or you're talking about things that engulf both the audience and you. Okay, and it's a good idea to talk in terms of us. Okay, giving your speech in terms of us. But when you're saying, when you're talking about the issues and the struggle and the problems that so many people in the world are facing, it might not be the best idea to talk in terms of us, because, well, most of us have a lot of privilege, and I'm going to say us, because there's so many people that are going through harsh, bad times right now, okay? And I couldn't say us. Harry couldn't say us, okay? Because he cannot compare himself to the people whose lives are literally going through hell, okay? And you want to address that urgency, that people that are suffering, and you cannot. How many of us feel better? You cannot include yourself in that. Okay, as from a speech writing perspective, that was a bad move. Maybe that was not Harry's fault, because he didn't write his speech, but he should read what he got and say, hey, I think this doesn't sound good because I haven't feel better like someone that is struggling, for example, for electricity or to find food or to find a job or to sustain their families. Okay, it's not the way. No. It's not the way to address the topic, because you banalize the topic. You're saying like every single of us feel better, but so it's the same for everyone. No, it was wrong. Another thing that Megan should have pointed out: hey, this is not. How many people in the world feel better? How many? Talk in third person. Don't include yourself in that.
Helpless.
But he does feel better. Okay, you won this time, Snicks. You won this time. Yeah, he does feel better. I can't tell you anything else. You won this round. Let's see next time. Helpless in the face of a seemingly endless stream of disasters. Is he talking about Megan right now? Endless stream of disaster?
In the face of the seemingly endless stream of disasters and devastation.
Yeah, devastation. Definitely Megan.
I understand.
Yeah, he does understand.
This has been a painful year in a painful decade. We're living through a pandemic that continues to ravage communities in every corner of the globe. Climate change wreaking havoc on our planet, with the most vulnerable suffering most of all.
Yeah, of course, and he and his wife traveling by private jet, and I can place your bets that they travel by private jet there. You know, because climate change is only something that you mention and you talk from your mouth outwards. Yeah, private jets.
The few weaponizing lies and disinformation at the expense of the many.
But well, that sounds, yeah, definitely. That sounds like Megan. Those words. Maybe is this a cry? This is a cry for help in code? Is this a coded cry for help? Is there a linguistic or I don't know, code cracker in here? The few weaponizing lies
and disinformation at the expense
at the expense of the many. Yeah, that sounds like Megan and the articles, him too, himself.
Of the many. And from the horrific war in Ukraine to the rolling back of constitutional rights here in the United States, we are witnessing a global assault on democracy and freedom, the cause of Mandela's life. According to Freedom House, our world has grown less free every year for more than a decade and a half. As so often happens in history, the consequences of decisions made by some of the most powerful people in some of the wealthiest countries are being felt even more deeply across the continent of Africa. The pandemic, the war, and inflation have left Africa mired in a fuel and food crisis, the likes of which we have not seen in decades. Worse still, this comes at a time when the Horn of Africa is enduring the longest drought it's faced in close to half a century. And what is happening in Africa is not an isolated event. The drought there is a reflection of extreme weather we are seeing across the globe.
Again, climate change, but you know how hypercritical can the articles be about this topic.
As we sit here today, our world is on fire. Again. And these historic weather events are no longer historic. More and more, they are part of our daily lives. And this crisis will only grow worse unless our leaders lead.
Yeah, because that's what leaders do. Lead, of course. This is the part of the speech that would have helped if he changed the speed of his speaking. Okay, there are moments that you should change, like accelerate a bit. So when there comes a part with more gravitas or more dramatic, you can slow down and take your time in those more dramatic or more important parts. At this moment, he's setting up Okay, what will be the solution, so to speak, or the next part of the speech, that he should change that. Of course, that is with coaching, that is with practice, that he did not get because he does not care about this. Oh my God, this is painful. We're not even halfway through. I'm sorry. I hope that at least you're getting tips for at any moment you are giving a speech, or at any moment you listen to a public speak that you like, then you know there will be a reason why you like it. Okay? Yeah, no passion, no storytelling, no nothing. He didn't want to be there. He did not. And if you want a headline, Harry did not want to give this speech at the UN. He was not engaged. He was not invested. He was not passionate. He didn't look for help. He didn't care how it sounded. He didn't care to be monotone all the time. He didn't care to look angry at first. He didn't care about being himself involved in the suffering of the world when he's not. He didn't care enough of this, so he did not want to give this speech. You can print that, mainstream media.
Unless the countries represented by the seats in this hallowed hall make the decisions, the daring, transformative decisions that our world needs to save humanity. These decisions may not fit with the agendas of every political party. They may invite resistance from powerful interests. But the right thing to do is not up for debate. And neither is the science. The only question is whether we will be brave enough and wise enough to do what is necessary.
Yeah, not fly on private jets, for starters.
So yes, this is a pivotal moment. A moment where multiple converging crises have given way to an endless string of injustices. A moment where ordinary people around the world are experiencing extraordinary pain.
But notice, he's talking about these ordinary people around the world experiencing extraordinary pain. Now he talks in third person. That is the way that you talk when you talk about people suffering.
And in this moment, we have a choice to make. We can grow apathetic.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to grow apathetic.
Come to anger.
Yeah, he don't have to succumb. He already has succumbed to anger and yield to despair, as the photos at the start show. Oh my God, he's talking about himself. He's talking about himself. We can grow apathetic,
Succumb to anger, or yield to despair, surrendering to the gravity of what we're up against.
Yeah, Megan.
Or we can do what Mandela did. Every single day, inside that 7 by 9 foot prison cell on Robben Island, and every day outside of it too. We can find meaning and purpose in the struggle. We can wear our principles as armor.
Yeah, that. Stop. This is dangerous, okay? Find meaning and purpose in the struggle. Bad idea. Struggle is a word. You are one of the most privileged men in the world, okay? Find meaning and purpose in the struggle is the least, the worst line that you could say, because there's no way of that you have I don't know, the right, the angle, the anything to talk about finding meaning and purpose in the struggle. It's totally tone deaf. It's like when he said that people that don't like their jobs should just quit them. If your job doesn't give you happiness, if you don't feel joyful at your job, just quit. Just, yeah, let them eat cake. Let them eat cake. You should find meaning and purpose in the struggle. I have some, more vernacular way to answer to this. I'm not gonna do it right now.
And purpose in the struggle. We can wear our principles as armor.
What principles? What principles are you talking about? I would like to know what kind of principles are you talking about. Yeah, you don't have money? Get rich.
Heed the advice Mandela once gave his son to never give up the battle even in the darkest hour, and find hope where we have the courage to seek it.
But you don't have the courage to seek for help, because I think not even the people that are better off have helped you.
Since I first visited Africa at 13 years old, I've always found hope on the continent. In fact, for most of my life, it has been my lifeline, a place where I've found peace and healing time and time again. It's where I felt closest to my mother and sought solace after she died, and where I knew I had found a soulmate in my wife.
Is he making a connection between Diana and Meghan? Well, we're gonna give him a pass.
And it's where so much of my work is why my work is based there.
Okay, this is interesting. This is interesting. This is fascinating. What did he just say? And it's where so much of my work
is why my work is based there.
Is where my work is based on. Again, what is Harry's work? I don't remember. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be a decent royal commentator, but I just missed that memo. I did not attend school that day. What is Harry's work again? Yeah, what work? I'm genuinely asking. What work? The work I based on secrets. It's some kind of secret work that we have no awareness of. Oh, this is more than a train wreck. This is more than a train wreck. This is the best way to receive Tom Bauer's book in 3 days. So why didn't he move to Africa instead to Montecito? Good question. Right question.
Because despite continued hardship, there are people across Africa who embody Mandela's spirit and ideals, building on the progress he helped make possible. I see it in the communities fighting to save the Okavango Delta, defying the odds to protect their home and its biodiversity from big oil companies. I see it in the young girls who are forced out of school and into marriage in northern Nigeria, speaking out today so others may get a fuller chance to thrive tomorrow. I see it in the young entrepreneurs I met in Johannesburg, using their energy and creativity to launch businesses that serve their communities. I see it in World Central Kitchen, a partner of the Archwell Foundation, and their volunteers in Ukraine and around the world, fighting food insecurity one meal at a time. I see it in the vulnerable children of Lesotho and Botswana, orphaned by HIV, striving for a better future, which we support through our organization, Centre Bali.
You notice that he has this repeating gesture with his hand over and over again, and always does the same speed of his speech, of speaking patterns. There's lack of emphasis. There's lack of pauses after those very important issues that he's addressing. He's going back to that angry face again. He's getting tired. 10 minutes into his speech. This is the problem of not practicing, of not being invested, of not caring about what you're saying.
I see it in the newest generation of activists for equality and justice, who are mobilizing people of all ages and races, all faiths and walks of life, to lace up their shoes and join the march. And I see it in the parents I meet around the world.
Yeah, this guy here is every one of us. Yeah, this guy here.
World. As determined as Mandela was to give their children a better shot at a brighter future. to prioritize their own and their children's mental health and well-being, to reject old ideas and past prejudices, to heal from the past and build resilience for the present and future.
It's just an observation. Usually a person, you can tell that they have not practiced their speech because they have this this little stuttering, or they miss some words, especially at the end of sentences, like has happened like 2 or 3 times. When you practice a speech, when talking that, you should practice a speech like 40, 50. You should practice a speech maybe 60 times, the whole speech 60 times, and you memorize and get the words so ingrained in your mind that any problem that you will have from diction or any word, you will just polish that, and you will not have that problem at the end, because you will remember, I have a problem with this word, I have a problem with this word, and you will practice it so many times that you will remember when the word is approaching, your mind will be aware of what you have to do to not mess it up, just for the sake that you made it second nature, because what? You practice the speech, okay? You practice the speech.
Because they know the price of inaction will be paid by the next generation. In their strength and in their deeds, Mandela's legacy shines as brightly as ever. They are my life bell. I hope they can be yours too. Because right now, the water is rising all around us. In some places, quite literally. So it's more important than ever that we seek a purpose greater than ourselves and get to work. After all, Mandela was not only a man of conscience, he was a man of action. He organized millions, inspired billions, joined hands not only with those who loved him, but those who had once jailed him, to build a better future for all. What Mandela understood was that true legacy transcends one's own needs and the passage of time. It defies the moment. Its relevance never ceases. Legacy does not belong to the self. It belongs to those it impacts. That doesn't mean he was perfect. No, he was something better. He was human. As he wrote in his autobiography, I have made missteps along the way.
I think this part, at last, he had gone, well, like 12 minutes into the speech, and he was finally beginning to feel comfortable giving the speech. But that is normal. It's when, for example, when I used to give live, I do. The first minutes can be a bit overwhelming. You're nervous. You want to get it right. But once you have around a couple minutes in, it's much easier. In case of a speech, you should practice so you can control that nervousness at the start of the speech, because that is the moment that you have to connect with your audience, you catch your audience. We had to wait like 12 minutes and a half for Harry finally giving the speech the way it was more or less had to be given.
But I have discovered the secret that after climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. I have taken a moment here to rest, to steal a view of the glorious vista that surrounds me, to look back on the distance I have come. But I can rest only for a moment, for with freedom comes responsibilities, and I dare not linger, for my long walk is not yet ended. It has been almost a decade now.
I think he was quoting Mandela, right? Okay, as he wrote in his autobiography, he was talking and he had the same body language, his same way of connecting with the audience. to make sure that if it was me, to make sure the people understood that I was talking, because I got lost. Okay, I'm sorry, I got lost. This is too boring. To make sure that you make sure that the people understand that you're quoting Mandela, that's the moment to look for your notes and read that straight from your notes. So people, reading from notes reinforces the idea that you're quoting Mandela, because people can get lost, and if they reconnect when you're mid-quote, it looks like you're talking like you were Mandela, and you're not Mandela. You're no Mandela, and you don't want people to make this mistake. And you know that people's attention can drift. Maybe it's not that. Maybe this was not the first speech of the day. Maybe they were a bit tired, and you want people to make sure they understand what you're saying and not make any mistakes about the interpretation, because that will be very costly for you.
More hills to climb. I have taken a moment here to rest, to steal a view of the glorious vista that surrounds me.
This should have been read from notes, not looking to the audience like if these were your words. Yeah, maybe he's reading off a teleprompter, but this moment he should have read from notes. Change the body language, change the cue.
To look.
Yeah, who is climbing hills? It's not Harry, it's Mandela. But that's the confusion that I get from this.
Back on the distance I have come. But I can rest only for a moment. For with freedom comes responsibilities, and I dare not linger, for my long walk is not yet ended.
Yeah, I don't understand. Some of you are confused in the comments exactly for the same reason that I was confused. For my long walk has not yet ended. Is this Harry or Mandela talking? There's a confusion. There's a confusion because he's using the same body language, the same eye connection with the audience, like when he was talking in his own words. That is dangerous. You can get lost, and when you reconnect, what is this man talking about? My long walk has not yet ended. Who do you think you are? That can happen.
It has been almost a decade now since Mandela's own walk on this earth finally reached its end. But what he taught us again and again is that it was never his walk alone. It was all of ours. It is all of ours. And what a beautiful gift, especially as a dad of 2 young children myself. The message that this world is meant to be shared. That the work of each generation is tied to those who came before and those who will come after us. That we have an obligation to give as much, if not more, than we take. And never shudder in the face of darkness. For hope is the fuel that courage requires.
Yeah, he's talking in his own words, but again, obligation to give as much, if not more, than we take. You don't have a nice record on that, Harry. And never shudder in the face of darkness. You don't have a good record on that. For hope is the fuel the courage requires. That's the problem. These are words too big for you. Remember that he said at the beginning of the speech, I've come here with humility. This is not humility. He's not speaking with humility now.
Courage requires. So on this Nelson Mandela International Day, as a new generation comes of age, a generation that did not witness Mandela's leadership for themselves, let's commit to remembering and celebrating his life and legacy every day, not just once a year. Let's talk with our children about what he stood for. Let's seek out what we have in common. Empower all people to reclaim our democracies and harness the light of Mandela's memory to illuminate the way forward. Because if we can summon our own courage just as he did, if we can see one another's humanity just as he did, a better day will truly be on the horizon.
He's talking about humanity. He's talking about if we can see one another's humanity just as he did, And you can remember the Harry's record since last year. Well, is not the most humane, the most human in that regard. Oh, these are empty words, because your actions, Harry, your actions speak louder than your words, and give everyone or confirm that you're a hypocrite. But that's it. You are just confirming that you are a hypocrite. You don't care about the speech. You don't really care about the topic. You don't really care about your own words, and you don't practice what you preach. You don't walk the walk. What can I tell you?
Just as he did, a better day will truly be on the horizon. Thank you.
Okay, finish. Please clap. My God, that was Harry was competing with Amber Heard's witnesses. That's for sure. That for sure. My body language buddies, I'm really glad that we got to 7,500 body language buddies. This was the analysis. This is what we got today. I'll be working on a summary of a 9-minute video of summary of this analysis with the highlights, and it will be due tomorrow, or most probably tomorrow. Okay. I'm happy to see all you here, so many people in so many platforms. And remember that you still have the opportunity to hit the like button, all that I need. And well, what else can we expect? I don't know if there's any more content. I will be looking on social media. Maybe remember, if you still don't follow me on my Royal channel on YouTube, the Royal Rogue. Look for the Royal Rogue, my other YouTube channel. I'm gonna leave a link in the description of this video too. Follow me on the Royal Rogue, because that's where I usually do live streams on the Royals and the non-Royals too. There's where I will be commenting Tom Bauer's book. Maybe Harry is with this low energy because he's afraid of what is Tom Bauer going to put on his book. Who knows? My body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. And this was a great exercise on how to not give a speech. And now you know, you have some tips that can you do to give a better speech yourself. Improve your public speaking skills. Remember, much love and bliss is the most important thing that we need. And take care. Let's see if we have another live later, or maybe, probably I'll give you another live later. Take care. Bye bye. Love you all.